like that. And the human, this sort of a hedonistic lifestyle. But if you want to know what the satanic Illuminati is up to, just turn on your Iraq and Pakistan and Afghan war footage and see what's going on. And that's it. That is not a war. That's a holy ritual, and it's repeated over and over with all its little symbols and emblems. Go look at the phoenix wings extending outward in ancient Egypt, and I've got a lot of this in my film as well. And then the Nazis used what was the Nazis? One of their main symbols next to the two swastikas they used, one of which the Pope
the phoenix
has on.
Wasn't it?
Pardon?
Wasn't it
eagle?
The rising phoenix?
Yeah,
eagle?
Well, yeah, right, the rising phoenix. But I mean, they made it look like an eagle. But yeah, and then what's the same exact emblem is used was it on the U.S. United States seal? And I mean, this stuff just goes on and on and on, and it's all part of the world is a grand ritual of this horrible theater, and the wars are the most concentrated. You want to know what mass sacrifice looks like? Ancient Mayan style. You need to go and read a bunch of books on the ancient Mayans. All you do is you just go watch TV or find out the real truth about what's going on in the Middle East or anywhere. All over Africa, all over the world.
All over
really
the world.
United States caused mass warfare and slaughter, and our troops are still over in Korea now. They've been there for decades. The whole thing is just a big, huge, dark ecstasy festival. And people sit here and wonder what I'm talking about when I talk about underworld Illuminati spirituality. Well, just look at the world. We're so conditioned. You're told on TV, you're free, it's democracy, and George Bush gets on the aircraft carrier and says, Iraq is free. People, oh, okay. And then they never, it's so clever how we're the point of the school system is to get us when we're real, real young and make sure we don't learn how to trust our senses. We learn how to, it is just absolutely smashed into our minds. You learn by what you are told, not what you experience. And this, I think it was Stalin or somebody who said, give me a kid before they're 7 and I can make them anything I want. That's what the schools are for. That's why the government raises the children and they learn to trust what they're told, not what they feel or see.
Yeah, the other subtle thing about, school is you got these little youngsters and they are programmed to understand that the time clock dictates everything. The bell rings, they get up, they go eat. The bell rings again, they come in, they sit down. The bell rings again, and they go outside and they play.
Yeah.
And the bell rings, and they come back in. They're programmed to be on the clock. The other thing is, you face the class, and whoever is up there, and it's always the teacher, right? That's the expert, and you have to be quiet, and you have to listen. It's subtle. It's the subtle stuff. Of course, they program you with the communist manifesto and stuff like that. But it's the subtle stuff that is the real dangerous thing, I think. And thank goodness, Mark.
I always wondered why such an emphasis on high school sports. It's neat, but it just costs a bunch of money for, and parents will even be tricked into thinking, the district's running out of money. Now we have to buy the football pads. What a joke that is. But high school sports is just more of the military training. I can think of when I played basketball and football in Kalamazoo, Michigan, where I went to high school, and in junior high I did. And it's all just, you obey, you do as told. It's just a subtle, more soft form of do as I say or get the H out of here. And that's, it's just all military training. Like your example, the bell is wonderful. The little soldier children marched all over the place. It was funny, the little neighbor girl was over the other day playing with my daughter, and she goes to a public school, the neighbor girl. Where I was asking her, how do you like your teacher? Just getting little pieces of information, because she's all vaccinated up and everything. And she told me about her teacher. She said, well, my teacher's kind of scary. And I just thought that was the funniest thing to hear her say that. How ridiculous the first thing a kid says about their teacher. Fits right into your military motif.
Yeah, there you go. Another great example of the great mass sacrifice is, Pol Pot there in Cambodia, Vietnam, and, after we pulled out, and then Stalin. Man, that guy slaughtered millions, folks. It is an interesting thing how the other thing I wanted to go into, you can address that too, but it just brought up a thought. I remember some quotes from Stalin, and he was pretty forthright about how he was going to hang America with the rope that we sold him, but even our own political leaders, Jeffrey, man, you go back from Abe Lincoln and on. They'll say, like let's take Kennedy. JFK is a great example of this. Here's a man that is revered and admired, and he did seem to be an aristocrat, come from that family. But on the other hand, his actions and many things that he did seemed to be anti-New World Order. And so there's this dichotomy of which one he is. But then the real doozy is where he writes a booklet and presents it at the United Nations saying this is how you disarm America.
Yeah. So
it is really, I tell you, for many years, my answer to that hypocrisy within these leaders is the walk-in theory of these Illuminati that you call, that many people might say demons on the other side of the veil, that they come and they go, and when they're there, that's why you get Joe Biden or Ted Turner saying, yeah, we need to get rid of 90% of the useless eaters on the planet. I don't think that was necessarily him talking. I think it was the spirit that took him over. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know if I'm with you on that one. I think these people are just, like I was saying, they just hate. They love to hate. They're just mean, horrible, pathetic, cruel people. We've all known some in our lives. And I think that it goes way higher up that you get any kind of possession issues and so forth. That's my take. I could be wrong, and I don't have any proof of this. This is just my general take from looking at the whole big picture. I think these types of people have been and will be sacrificed at the drop of a dime. And, Bolshevik Revolution's a great example of that. And in some cases they won't be. The Nazis all escaped to South America and elsewhere. That's a good example where they aren't sacrificed at times. But no, I just take them to be a bunch of hateful, pathetic, stupid people. They're clever at tricking people. Glenn Beck, getting up there, and he's really smooth. He's an expert liar, and that's his job. But I just think he's a regular old slob fool, well trained, in some kind of secret society or something. That's my take. What do you think?
And Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah.
Rush Limbaugh came on the stage on the radio initially, and he was pretty much of a populist, a libertarian populist slant, kind of railed against the conservatives, and then and big government and all that, and then he just slid slowly. Once he got those people, he just slid right into becoming a neocon. And
same with Green Scam.
Exactly. And that's why I warned everybody about Glenn Beck 2 years ago when he was coming on the scene.
Yeah.
I saw that guy out of nowhere, and he was a neocon when it was popular to be a neocon, when most of the listeners thought shock and awe was cool. And then when they started turning against it, he slid into being a patriot. And I said, don't trust this guy. And he keeps, but for us and our listeners, they can see through Glenn Beck pretty easy, but they're all over the place.
I don't know.
I've talked
to pretty smart people who are, I think Glenn Beck might be an operative. I'm like, what?
Wow.
And at the gun range, there's all kinds of people that like him, and people that know all of, that go home and read the Federalist Papers and stuff. I mean, that are pretty smart. They're not as advanced in any way as, the issues we talk about in this show, but pretty smart people I know are totally, completely fooled by that charlatan.
Wow.
Yeah,
that just shows.
More than just a couple, too, that I've come across.
Yeah, we've got a lot of work to do. We need